Hello everyone and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. As always, I am Dorn. Today we're going to go ahead and start the science career mode in this. So first things first, we need to go ahead and head on into our spaceship manufacturing building here. And we don't have a whole lot to work with right now, right? We have to go ahead and research these things with the science points. So first things first, we need to go ahead and plop one of these things down. And for right now, we're not going to add anything to it. We're just going to go ahead and leave this as is. And we're going to go ahead and send ourselves over to the launch pad because right now we can go ahead and get some cheesy little bits of science just to kind of get things rolling here. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately have my space guy or astronaut step on out with an EVA. And then we are going to have him let go of the spacecraft here. And we're just going to go ahead and do some quick cheesy stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and take a surface sample. We are going to go ahead and hold on to that. And we are going to do an EVA report. We're going to hold on to that as well. And let's see. I think there's one more we can do. Surface sample, EVA report. Is that what I just did? And I think that's all we need to do at the moment. So let me go ahead and have him get back into the little spacecraft thing here. And then we can also do another one, I believe, from in here. So maybe not. Never mind. Or can I? Crew report. There we go. Yeah, crew report. That's the one I wanted to do. So let's hold on to that as well. And I think that's all we can do right now. So let me go ahead and recover this vessel. And that's going to give us like 20 science or something like that really quickly here. It's actually going to give us 12 science, so we can go ahead and do a little bit with that. So let me go ahead and toggle that through, and then we can go ahead and head on over to our research and development buildings. And this is where all the tech is. So we have the first two that we can get for 5 science apiece, which isn't too bad, right? We can go ahead and unlock both of those. So let's go ahead and do that. And then that allows us to go ahead and unlock the next tier of stuff, but that's at 20 science. The next one's at 18 and 15. So it starts getting a little bit pricey as we get near the end of the tech trees here. It gets kind of really expensive here, like 500 a piece here. That very last one's 1,000. That's pretty cool, but it comes with an engine, so that would be kind of helpful as we get later into the game here. But now that we have that research, let's go ahead and head back to the vehicle assembly building, and we can go ahead and add on to this thing now. So now we have a fuel tank for an actual engine instead of just a solid rocket booster, which we had a second ago. So we can go ahead and try and make some things with that. And let's see, we have a structure piece, a coupling piece that's going to allow us to go ahead and separate our cabin here from the rocket itself. And let's see, what else do we have? We have some wings, so those will come in handy to get a little bit of traction trying to steer and stuff when we're flying through the air here. We have an antenna and another antenna. Okay. We can go ahead and throw one of these on. It's a thermometer. That'll go ahead and give us a little bit more science when we get out and use that. And then we have the containment unit, which is a mystery goo, which is another science item here. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on our spacecraft. We have some parachutes, which I think our people come with one already on. I don't think we need any of that right now. And we have a parachute. So let's go ahead and throw that on top of our cabin here. And for right now, we're going to go ahead and throw one of the solid rocket boosters on there. And all we're going to do is rocket ourselves straight up as high as we can go and just see if we can go ahead and do an EVA probably about 10,000 feet up, maybe, hopefully, if that's a thing we can get to with this rocket. If not, right now, we're just going to go ahead and stack it with more of these just to get up higher and higher to grab some more science from a little bit higher in the atmosphere here. And before we actually send ourselves out to the launch pad here, we need to separate our separator thing here so that we don't pop it and the parachute at the same time, so we don't run into any issues here. So let me go ahead and save that again, and we can go ahead and head on over to the launch pad. And before we go ahead and launch, let's go ahead and toggle our SAS just so that our astronaut here can go ahead and try and keep control of it and try and keep it going in a straight line, I think is what that is used for. So for right now, like I said, we're just going to go straight up. So we don't have to mess with throttle any because this is a solid rocket booster, so it's not going to matter if we increase throttle or decrease it. We have no control over this once we hit spacebar. So let's go ahead and do that now. And as we go up here, we're going to hit a point where we don't go up anymore. And we can go ahead and see that with the map view here. At some point, this will go ahead and stop going. And then when we get to the apex here, we're going to try and do an EVA and do all of the other stuff that we have on our spacecraft here. So the little thermometer and the mystery goo. We do need to be careful to not kill ourselves here because there is an atmosphere and we are taking a little bit of damage here, and our parachute is also red, which I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I think that might mean it's broken. I really hope not, because if it's broken, because we just did that, we might die on impact. But we're not going to be in too much trouble here. Like I said, this is the science mode. We're on normal difficulty. Everything's set to default. So at some point, like if we do end up killing any of our people here, we're not really going to be in too much trouble. But let's see, we are carrying the rocket booster, which we can actually drop because right now we're slowing down because we have a little bit of extra weight that we don't necessarily need. So what I want to go ahead and do is just spin ourselves just a little bit here and decouple the booster so we don't actually hit it. And we're going to go ahead and flip ourselves around. Actually, no, we don't need to. We can go ahead and stay like this, I think. So when we come back through the atmosphere, we're taking the brunt of the heat on the bottom of our little capsule here. But let me go ahead and flip back over to the map view. We are approaching the apex. So let me go ahead and throw an alarm onto it. Actually, no, maybe not. We don't need an alarm. We should be fine. And once we get there, we're going to be there in 1 minute and 24 seconds. So we can go ahead and speed up time a little bit here with the little fast forward button here. And let's see, when we get to around 30 seconds or so, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Ooh, I didn't toggle an alarm. I went to go ahead and toggle an alarm, but then I took it off. But yeah, once we get around 30 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and pause it back down to normal speed. And then we're going to go ahead and EVA and pop all of the other stuff that's on here. The little thermometer and the mystery goo. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's go ahead and log the temperature. And we're going to go ahead and hold on to that so we get more science out of it because right now our antennas aren't that great. And we'll lose a little bit of science trying to transmit it back. And then the same thing with the mystery goo. We don't get a whole lot of science from this, unfortunately, but we can go ahead and get a little bit nonetheless. Let's also have our crew do a crew report again. Let's report that, hold on to it. And is there anything else in this menu? No. So we should be okay going on to an EVA because they should come out and hold on to the spacecraft immediately, and they do indeed. Okay. So we're not in really any danger here until we start going through the atmosphere. If we don't do this quick enough, then he might burn up to a crisp here. But let's go ahead and do an EVA report. We're going to get some more science out of that. Let's go ahead and hold on to that. And that's all we can really do because there's no surface sample or anything like that we can do since we're kind of up in the atmosphere here. But let's go ahead and board back into this. And all we got to do now is float on back to the ground here. We kind of missed it. I should have probably paused the timer at 1 minute. I think we started taking those samples after we passed the apex already. So I don't know if we would have got better science at 115 feet or 115,000 feet or meters or not. I don't know if it's really that picky or whatnot, but we're going to go ahead and float back down and then we can go ahead and pop our parachute and hopefully make a safe landing here. We can also speed it up as well just so we go ahead and get back down to the ground here a little bit quicker. Our parachute is still orange, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not yet. Well, I guess we'll see. Can I close this so that we don't lose it? I guess not. I guess it's just kind of staying open by default here. We should be okay. And hopefully once we go ahead and land, we'll get a bit more science. And with that science, we'll hopefully be able to go ahead and explore a little bit more of this planet because we need as much science from this planet before we can go ahead and head on up to the moons here. So let me go ahead and pop the chute. And is it going to work? It looks like it's going to work, so we should be okay. It did go ahead and deploy, so we should be okay here in a second. We just need to go ahead and land the next 300 meters here. But so far, so good. What does this do? Oh, that changes the sea level, I guess, and land level. I'm not quite sure. We can go ahead and abort the action groups. I'm not sure why we would do that. I'm sure as we go ahead and get later and later into the game here, we're going to need to go ahead and try and learn more and more about the game here so that we don't accidentally blow up over and over again. But as long as we kind of go about this kind of smartly, we should be fine. So now that we landed, we can go ahead and recover the vessel again, and that's going to go ahead and deposit these science points that we just earned from that little short flight there. So let's see, we got a total of 41 science from that, so that's pretty good. And now we can kind of go ahead and choose what we want to do. So we can either do this one, which is going to be another rocket engine, a solid booster rocket, and another fuel tank. Or we have the stability tree, which is going to add a nose cone, another wing type, and a separation thing to go ahead and decouple the rockets from the side of the thing. Instead of having it stacked on one another, we can go ahead and have them to the side and spit them out that way. And we also have the survivability one, which is going to add some of the heat shields for the bottom of our little capsule thing. And we have a barometer here, which is going to be another science item, I believe. A radiation panel, which I'm not sure, maybe another heat resistant thing that'll help take some heat off of the capsule on landing and stuff. We have landing struts, we have 2 more types of parachutes, and then we have a service bay. So for right now, this is going to come in handy when we go ahead and head out of this planet, right? When we try and land on one of the moons, this will go ahead and be helpful to have this research. But for right now, I'm going to leave that unchecked and actually go with the general rocketry here just to go ahead and get that researched into. We have 21 points left over. We don't have enough to do either one of those, so we still can go ahead and do one of these. So let's actually just do this one just to go ahead and get it out of the way. And we only have 7 points left, or 6.9 points left, but we can't do anything else. So let's go ahead and close that and head back over to the vehicle assembly building once again. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is try and get high enough up into the atmosphere and head over to the North Pole just to go ahead and get some of the ice area researched or discovered with the science points here. So what we need to go ahead and do is throw any other science item on there that we have, which we only have this thing, so it's not that much different from the last rocket that we just sent. Let me go ahead and throw that over to probably right there. Should be fine, I think. We should be fine with that. And then let's see, we're gonna want some solid boosters, and we're also going to want some of the normal fire rocket here. So let me go ahead and throw one of those on there, and maybe a half tank as well, just to go ahead and get a little bit more fuel out of that. And then we're going to want the rocket booster that's going to allow us to swivel so we can kind of control where we're going with it. So I think it's going to be this one, since the name of it is the swivel. So let's go ahead and throw that one on there. We still have this separator there, right? I think so. Yeah, we still have the separator there, so we're fine. Let me go ahead and put that back. And what we're going to go ahead and do is throw 2 of these ones on there and have the coupling thing on the side. Did I not research that? I thought I just did. Was that the one in the middle that we didn't do? That's the one in the middle that we didn't do. Okay, my bad. So let's actually throw one of these things on there. Where is the little separator thing? There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and throw some of these struts on there as well, if we can. Maybe not. Maybe we don't do that. Never mind. Let's go ahead and just throw one of the bigger rockets on there so that we get up as high as we can go with it. And then hopefully we don't lose control with this rocket, and we're able to kind of go north with it, I think is where we want to go. So let me just quickly check all of these settings here, and it looks like we're good. So let me go ahead and rename this to the Mark II, and we should be okay, right? And let me go ahead and just double check on the launch pad here. So we want to go ahead and head over to this part of the planet here. So this area here, the big snow patch up top there. So we need to go ahead and head that away. And so the compass should allow us to do that, right? We need to go north. So as long as we launch with enough height and we're able to turn mid-flight, we should be able to get there. So we should be okay, I believe. Let's go ahead and launch and start pulling to... Well, actually, I don't want to pull too far to the side because I don't want the rocket to tip over and then go right into the ground here. So we're going to try and stay until we hit about 10,000 feet maybe. And then we should be able to go ahead and start turning to the side. I'm going to keep kind of toggling it just a smidge here to go ahead and get a little bit of an angle going. And am I going the right way? No, I don't think I am. I need to go that way. So I'm trying to turn it just a smidge here. And is this thing changing? It's not changing. It's still going straight up like that, which isn't great, right? Because we're not going toward the ocean. We're going toward the land here, so it should be changing. Let me drop that, and we're still going up. So if we go ahead and have this thing added in really quick, we can go ahead and do that just so we can see it on the compass. And if we close that, we can go ahead and see which way we need to be going, which I guess I'm going the wrong way completely here. Let me go ahead and enable our rocket on, and then that's going to allow us to steer toward the thing. And I think we need to aim for the blue one, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe the pink one. The pink one is what we need to aim for, I believe. So let me go ahead and try and keep up with that. And I think I can go ahead and toggle one of these guys on. Maybe not. Never mind. So yeah, we just need to do this. We're going the wrong way. We are going the complete wrong way. We need to go that way. And let me kill my engine really quick just to check the map. We are kind of going in the right direction. Let me clear that maneuver, add another maneuver here, And we need to go ahead and straighten ourselves out a little bit and get some height going here. We might be a little too low for this. Might be really, really too low for this, but that should be kind of okay. Oh no, we're still way out from it. Can I do that and then add some height and then do that again? We're not going into orbit, are we? We are kind of going into orbit. I don't want that at all. We need to go ahead and drop that back down a little bit here, please. And that should be it, I think. Let me quickly try and get over to the maneuver. I think that should be good. How much fuel we don't have a whole lot of fuel left. So this is either going to work or it's not. We're just going to get a little bit further out anyways. So at the end of the day, we're going to get a little bit of science regardless. So let me just go ahead and start burning. And is that going the way we want it to go? It is indeed. Okay, so from this menu, we can go ahead and just hit the booster again. Try and get some height out of this. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Why is there two pink things on my compass here? Oh, one of them's retrograde and the other one's not. Okay, so that was my bad. I didn't realize this one's the one we wanted to go ahead and aim for, the normal little pink triangle, and then the other one that we were aiming for has the little lines going back into it. So we were kind of going the wrong way with that completely. That was my bad. So let's go ahead and separate our rockets, and let's go ahead and pop this thing since we haven't done this one yet, and we're kind of high up in the atmosphere. So let's go ahead and log the pressure. We're going to get 10 science from this, so that's going to be decent. And I'm going to go ahead and hold off on the other ones until we land wherever we're landing. Because right now it looks like, let me clear this thing because it's not useful anymore. Clear, please. Thank you. No, stop. What are you doing? There we go. Okay, yeah, we're landing in a green patch right here on the ground. So it might be a different area, a different biome compared to where we spawned at. So we might get some different little bits of science from this, or we might not. I'm not quite sure just yet. But let me go ahead and hold off here until we get to the point where we're landing, and we can go ahead and do another little EVA and stuff. All right, cool. We landed. Let's go ahead and have them do a crew report here. I don't think it's going to be anything special. Oh, you know what? Actually, we're getting 1.5 science from it, so it's better than nothing. And let's go ahead and have our astronaut go ahead and EVA. And can I close that? Go away. There we go. Cool. So let's go ahead and have him let go. And then we can go ahead and do another little EVA here and gather up some resources here. So EVA report, that's going to be another 2.4 science, not a whole lot. And let's see, surface sample again, that's going to be 9 science. So might be a different little biome here. And I think that's all we can go ahead and do yet again. So let me go ahead and head back over to my little cabin here and get back into it. Oops, wrong button. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Get back up, please. Let's go ahead and get you back into this. There we go. And we can go ahead and recover the vessel, get the science points from this. And we got another 35 science from that, so it's pretty decent. Let's go ahead and head back to the research development area and unlock this one because that's going to allow us to separate from the sides. And we have 17 points left over, so that's not going to be much for anything. And right now, since the North Pole is quite a ways out there, what I want to try and do is actually head to the left of us, I think, because that's where the desert is. So I'm going to try and go from here across the little water here and try and land over here somewhere because this is all desert. So that's going to be a different biome, and it's a whole lot closer than the North Pole is right now. We kind of boned that because I didn't realize it, but on the compass here, it even kind of tells you right there, the orange line is the north, and that's where we had to go, and I was trying to turn it to the left, which was going to the west here, so we weren't really going up like we were supposed to be going. So that was my bad here. Let me go ahead and get out of this view, and we're going to want to go hard left. Actually, can I add a maneuver from this right now before we even launch? Can I... Ooh, no. Oh, I can't. Okay. So yeah, I can't plop a waypoint or anything to try and get my compass to show me anything. So we need to go that away. So we should be able to do that, hopefully. If not, we're going to land in the ocean, and we might be able to go ahead and get some science out of that, I think. I'm not too sure. But now that we're going up, now can we add a maneuver? Just to kind of get a waypoint going for ourselves here. Deactivate navigation. No, I can't. Oh, I can. Oh, no, that's the same thing. Okay, anyways, we're just going to go ahead and take this thing up as high as we're going to go because this is going to at least get us into, what was it, like 30,000 feet, I think, before we run out of steam on this thing. So that's going to allow us to kind of go to the secondary engine and then get a little bit of of steering in because this one's not really a steerable rocket to begin with. So there we go. That thing's done. Let me go ahead and plop this open really quick because we should be able to do this now. And can I add a maneuver? Why is it not letting me zoom in more? Can I add a maneuver here? And we want to go ahead and head that away. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me fix that. Let me do this. And that's going to take us way out. Kind of wonky. Can I do this to spin us around? We can. That'll go ahead and take us way out of the planet here. That's not what I want to do. But we can see from right here, this is the side of the map here where the desert begins kind of, and across this waterway is where the other desert is. So if I can point my rocket in that direction, which is that away, right? Something like that. We can go ahead and just start burning in that direction. Take a look at our atmosphere, or our height thing here. I don't know what I just changed on this, that it won't let me zoom in anymore. There we go. I guess a little bit further in. Can I clear this thing? Cool. And we're already past the apex, so we're not going up anymore, which is not great. Actually, are we past the apex? We might still be going up a little bit here. And can we do that to get a little bit more height? And hopefully this is going to allow us to get here, which we only have a little bit of fuel left. And we burned the fuel right before we got to the end here. So it's better than nothing. I suppose we're going to land in the ocean, but hopefully we can go ahead and get a little bit further out into the desert here. I don't know if our people can swim. So I don't really want to risk drowning the guy right off the bat here. But if we get close enough to the coastline here that he can kind of just EVA onto it, then we're probably going to try that, to be honest. We're also about to hit a higher altitude than we did previously. We're going to hit 123,000 out of, I think last time we hit 115,000. So we can go ahead and log the pressure from here. And that's going to generate 12 science points. So we can go ahead and hold on to that. I'm going to try an EVA as well and see if we get anything different to the last time we did this. We're getting 8 science, so let's go ahead and hold on to that as well. What happens if we get back into the thing? Do we then get the ability to log in? Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Board, please. I pressed spacebar to let go. That would have been terrible. Let me go ahead and lock our spin again so we don't go spinning out of control. I don't know if this science thing is going to be any different to what we got last time, and it's not really. We're only getting 2.3 science out of it, so I'm going to go ahead and reset that just so we don't have to reset it once we land. And the temperature would be the same because we're already back down to 115,000, so we're not going to get any type of different reading here. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward until we land again because we're just going to be floating here for the next few minutes and not being able to do anything really. Okay, we're coming in for a landing and we are going really, really fast. I didn't realize how fast we were going, and it also looks like we're going to land on the land itself, so that's great for us. I don't know if these things are going down or they're going up. They're going down. Okay, so they're cooling back off. We didn't kill our astronaut here on re-entry, so that's great for us. We need to start putting a heat shield on our stuff if we're going to stick around on Kerbal for any longer here. But let me go ahead and wait a little bit more. We're just about to land here, and then we are landing on the desert like I said, so hopefully this is going to generate some more science, and hopefully we can actually do another EVA and save it. If not, I'll just go ahead and wipe the other one that we just did at 125,000 feet and just do it again at some point because this is probably going to generate a little bit more science than that thing did. So let me go ahead and pop the chute and disable SAS, and we should land in a couple seconds here. Not too big of an issue. All right, we successfully landed here. Let me go ahead and EVA again. Oops, we're glitching through the ground there. Let me let go of the thing here. Can we do this since we're outside of it? We can indeed. Let's go ahead and log the temperature. And actually, no, we need to get back in before we can do that. Okay, so we're probably not going to be able to do that one either. So let me just wander over here really quick, and we can go ahead and plant a flag so that we know we've been to the desert. I should have been doing this at the other places we landed, just so we can go ahead and keep track of where we've been and where we've not been. So I don't know what to put in there, so I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. And let's go ahead and do an EVA report. That's going to generate 2.4 science. So I think the one that we did at 125 feet is going to be more science than this. But I'll go ahead and just hold on to it just for the sake of holding on to it. We might be able to do 2 of these right now. And let's do a surface sample as well. That's going to be 9 science, so that's okay, I suppose. And is there anything else we can do from here? No. So let me go ahead and get back onto this thing. And it actually let me save the other EVA as well. So we should be good. Let me go ahead and observe the mystery goo. Maybe it's going to give us a little bit more points. It is. It's going to give us 3 science instead of the 2.4 that we were going to get in low Earth orbit here. So it's better than nothing. Let me go ahead and save that. And let's do another temperature log here. And we're getting 2.4 science from this. So that's nice as well. We did this thing in the atmosphere, so we're not going to get anything better from it. We can't do double the logs, so we're not going to waste it. Let me go ahead and recover the vehicle, and there we go. We're getting a whopping 55 science for that little excursion there, so that's better than what we've gotten so far, so that's pretty nice. And we should be able to research some stuff here, or at least one thing. So I don't know what's going to be more important here. So this is going to be more fuel tanks and storage and rocket engines. This is going to be general, so this is a crew cabin, the structure struts, which are going to come in handy as we start getting bigger and bigger rockets going. The rocket stability things that allow you to like hold your rocket in place and launch it. We have an adapter. We have another fuel tank or a structural fuselage, so I don't think that actually has anything in it. And then we have another decoupler, so that's going to come in handy again as we start getting bigger and bigger rockets. We have a whole bunch of plane parts, which I don't know if we're really going to mess with the planes too much because the planes are a little wonky as far as I remember. And let's see, we have the flight controller, which is another set of wings, and a reaction wheel, which I think that's going to come in handy as we start doing unmanned missions to go ahead and give our spacecraft a little bit more control that we don't normally get with the robot pilot things. Unless we have a normal person in it, then this is kind of pointless. But if we have a drone or something flying, then we would need one of those on there. Kind of like this thing here. This is an unmanned mission that we can go ahead, or an unmanned cockpit thing that we can go ahead and throw on there. So it's like a drone satellite thing. So we can go ahead and have that instead of having a crew, and then we can go ahead and set up like satellites and unmanned missions to other planets and moons and stuff if we want to go ahead and try that out first, so that we don't actually risk killing any of our astronauts here. But again, we're in the science mode, so it's really not going to matter too much here. But we have batteries in this thing, so those are going to come in handy as we start setting out satellites and stuff. We also have another thing of science that's going to give us more science being generated as well, so that'll be handy. We have an experiment storage unit, so I think we can go ahead and store more stuff in there, like the mystery goo, so we can run that thing multiple times in orbit instead of running it once and not being able to use it again. I think is what this is going to be used for. We have another radiation panel. Again, I think that's just something to go ahead and take the heat away from the main spacecraft, I believe is what these are used for. Another one that's even larger. And then we have a high gain antenna, which is going to come in handy as we get further and further out from Kerbal, and we want to go ahead and transmit the data back instead of bringing back the astronauts, which we're not going to try and do, right? We're going to try and any manned missions we send, we're going to try and bring them back. So at best case scenario, we can send them back. But on this, with this antenna, we can go ahead and put that on like drones and stuff to go ahead and send the data back to Kerbal so that we can go ahead and get some science and stuff from it. So for right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the general construction one because this thing's going to come in handy as we get bigger rockets, so we don't have them just sitting on the launch pad when we launch. And then this thing, the connector strut, is going to come in handy as well to go ahead and add stability to the spacecraft as we get to bigger and bigger things. So I'm going to go ahead and research that right now. And then the next couple things I research, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the drone stuff or the unmanned stuff. So we're going to go ahead and research into this when we get the points for it. And we're also going to go ahead and do this one as well, so we get the reaction wheel from it as well. So we can go ahead and save up the 90 points to go ahead and research those two things at some point here. And before we go ahead and actually wrap up today, I want to go see what this thing is. There's a little building or something out there. I don't know what that is exactly. I can't really like zoom over to it. I can do this and get a little bit closer to it, but I can't quite get onto it. So it looks like a rocket booster or something just stuck in the ground. So I want to go ahead and EVA my little astronaut guy and run on over there really quick and just see what it is. All right, well, it took me about 15-20 minutes of running in one direction because this guy is pretty slow. I probably should have waited until we had some sort of a rover built and ready to go before doing this, but I went ahead and ran all the way over here, and all it is the company's logo. So the squad guys who made the game, that's all that's over here. I thought this was some sort of a building or something, but it's not. But since we're here anyways, we might as well go ahead and just take a surface sample and get whatever little bit of science that we can go ahead and grab from this. Let me actually enable my HUD again because I can't see anything. Let me go ahead and do an EVA report. Cool, we get 2.4 science from this. That's better than nothing. And I believe we can go ahead and do a surface sample. There we go. Another 9 science for that. We can go ahead and plant a flag next to this for the sake of just having a flag over here. Why not? And I think we can go ahead and warp back to the car here. Oh, the flag didn't go on the ground. It hit us in the head. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Do we have anything else we can do? Yeah, there's nothing else for us to go ahead and do. So I'm going to go ahead and warp on back to the vehicle thing here. All right, and we got 11 science out of that. So I guess 20 minutes of my time running over there, that's better than nothing. So I'm fine with taking that. Whatever, that's cool. But I think for right now, that's actually going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. Next episode, we are going to hopefully make it to the North Pole, get a little bit of that ice research done so we can go ahead and see what's over there, and then hopefully see what's on the other side of the planet as well. We need to go ahead and find some more biomes, get a bit more science, and unlock some more things before we start planning some missions out of the atmosphere here. So I would like to go ahead and get on over to the first moon, which is going to be this guy right here, the moon. And once we get there, we can go ahead and get some more science. But I want to go ahead, like I said, and explore. Ooh, why can't I go back to the Kerbal? There we go. I would like to go ahead and get up here to get some of that research done. And I think we also want to go ahead and head on over to other places. We might want to go ahead and hit the South Pole as well, but I don't know if that's going to be anything different than the North Pole. It might be, it might not be. I'm not quite sure. But if we're able to go ahead and land on this side of the planet as well, there's a bunch of mountains and it looks like maybe a desert again here or something. So we might get some more science from that as well. But we're going to go ahead and have one more planned little episode here of trying to gather as much science from this planet before we go ahead and leave, and then we start going out into the solar system here. So we have 2 moons circling the planet here, and then we have some asteroids, I believe, over here, and then we have a bunch of planets as well that have their own moons and stuff that we need to go ahead and explore as well. But for right now, that's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. So hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.